Hello, welcome to Stable and Scale, one of the places where you can learn and share wisdom. I'm Lakshman. Today we are going to discuss about setting up a GraphQL server in Node.js Express API. So, without wasting any time, let's jump in. The things we'll be seeing in this video is first it's what's involved, second how it works and how to implement it. First, what's involved? First, it's almost same. It's GraphQL used for querying the databases and so on. And express.js, already I have added shorts regarding the express.js tips and tricks. You can even see in the description the link, which is the express.js nothing but the REST API options, which is for Node.js. Then the Node.js itself we need for a runtime environment. Then for editing and code stuff, so I'm using VS Code as an editor. And next thing, it's how it works. First we will be doing is we will be setting up and creating an express.js REST API, then adding the GraphQL server setup in that REST API and start writing queries. These are all things we will be seeing. And for implementing this, you need Node.js need to be installed in your system, then VS Code, and you need some terminals to run some commands. That's it. So that's the part, and now we are gonna see the most interesting one, which is writing the code and checking of the demo whether it works and how to set up with the process. Okay, so let's get into the code. First, what we are gonna do is we are gonna initiate the npm. So we have some handy up commands here, which is npm init -y. If you provide this command, it will automatically create a package.json file and with all the required elements the inside. So let it first create it, and the next command will be running is npm install express, which is express.js and express with GraphQL for us to run queries and of GraphQL integration and GraphQL we need, and .NET env for our configurations which need to be taken from the .NET environment, which is nodes environment env files. Okay, I think it started. So now what I'm gonna do is on ls check the packages file is there. So what I'm gonna install everything. The installation initially it will take time if you have a lot of configuration. Now it's got installed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the code, and you can see by default the node models and everything is there, and I'm gonna add a command here. It's called start node index. Index is actually the index file what we are going to create now, index.js. So now I can do it later. What we are going to do is I will just copy paste certain code here. I will explain. So first we are importing express GraphQL and the GraphQL for the schemas. It's a simple welcome schema, which is it's going to display as hello. Okay, so the query is very simple, and it has each and every GraphQL as a 3 layers setup. One is schema and one which one is the root value, and is GraphQL is interface is enabled. Okay, so these are the things which we want to do. The first thing is you can see the GraphQL has some different elements. First it's using via http protocol, where the schema will be first defined what all the schema is there, and what's the root value, which is actually resolving whenever the query hits in and this query is gonna hit, this is the value which is gonna respond. And with the GraphQL, this is said to be true if the GraphQL interface is not created. Okay, then express by default starting, and whenever there was a GraphQL query, it redirects to the graphql-http, and it listens with the port 3000. That's it. This is the actual code. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to Windows terminal and npm start. So what it happens is it runs my index.js file and start creating the express, and it runs with the 3000 port. That's it. So now it got started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Postman, and there was a lot of plugins which are available on the VS Code, but I prefer Postman because it gives a default option of query GraphQL. So I already have the query here. What it happens here is okay, let me clear and show you from the scratch. Click GraphQL. I need to put the http /localhost 3000/graphql. What happens is it checks all the queries, it fetches what are all the queries available if you have in the GraphQL. That's the best thing in the Postman. What I'm gonna click and I'm gonna query. So the data response is data hello and hello GraphQL. So what I can do is GraphQL server. I'm gonna change where, and I need to restart it. If you want to make it auto restart, you can add a Node.js server where you can automatically, when there was a code changes, the server will re-trigger. So now what I will do is hello GraphQL server. So this is the basic query. What the next we are going to do is we are going to add a database to this GraphQL. We stop this. So I have a piece of code here. First add a model. So for every database, first I'm going to use the MongoDB, which is I need to install npm install mongoose for querying the databases and stuffs. So now the mongoose will get installed. Meanwhile, let's go and create model. In model we will create post.js. It's not model, it's models. Post.js. I'm going to copy the piece of code and paste it here. What here is I'm going to use a mongoose and creating a schema for it. That's it. It's pretty much simple schema where it's text and the content. So next what I need to do is I need to create a db.js file for me to connect to the database. Before that, let me add .env where let me copy some piece of code in db and copy the process.environment where this is my local database which is running in the Docker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Docker and Docker is getting started. Meanwhile, let me explain this piece of code. So .NET env is a package which used to access all the system environmental variables. So process.env, which is able to access the MongoDB URL and connects the mongoose with the namespace. Wherever the mongoose requires that, we can able to get connecting the databases. And database on error on open, when the database is open, it connects, prompts. If there was a error, it will prompt as a error. So the Docker engine is getting started. Why I prefer running the MongoDB and Docker? So it gets load of my all the database and other stuffs on the system, so I can easily spin up any many databases or server as I wish. So if you want to know how to run a Docker and other stuffs, you can check out in my channel. There was lot of Docker and Docker based development and other stuffs. I will add those links in the description. So this is my local MongoDB. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it. It's running in the port 27017, it's default port, and I'm just going to connect it here within the Mongo's campus. Just click copy, where I'm gonna here and paste slash. There was already a database with a couple of records. I'm gonna just copy it and paste the database name here, and database is there, and it got exported. What last thing which we need to do is we need to add the schema for the post model. So all the snippet there. First I need to initialize database. This piece of lines is gonna initialize my database, where init is the function which is gonna execute whenever there was a db init. You can see it goes there. The next thing is we need to build a query. For the querying stuffs, what I'm gonna add is I'm gonna add a build schema stuff here with the post option. So better let me copy the entire piece of code. So the query we can have is hello and the get post. The type is here, which has id, title and the content. The next is we need to modify the root resolver, where we only had one. Now we are gonna have two. One it is hello, next one is post. So where okay, let me have that one. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it here. What happens comes here is whenever there was a post, get post method called in the query, it's gonna respond with the query informations. It's gonna check and connect our database and gets the information and returns it. The last thing which we need is it's already updated schema, root and the GraphQL options. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run it now. So this will get start connecting. First I connect to my database. You will get the prompt here. So the it's running and connected to the database. Now what we gonna do is we are gonna just refresh it. You can see we can start writing queries only to get these informations. Postman makes it easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna exclude that one and run this. So the get post doesn't get any information, where there was post is not defined here. What we need to do is the post is not defined, it's there in the model. What we need is we need to add a constant. It's only there here. Let me pick up this model. Once the db is initialized, then the model has to be there. Now the model is there, and I need to restart it. It's better running Node, man. Now I'm gonna refresh and query, which is gonna send all the informations whichever is I need. So I don't need the content. This is the one. when let me clone one more thing, second and third, and query. Here is the query. What happens in the code is whenever there was a query, it goes to the root and checks and trying running this query, and it fetches the informations from the database and posts it up. So that is the about setting up a initial GraphQL server with the express.js for your querying in Node.js. Thanks for watching. Then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification on so you won't miss out any videos. So see you in the next one.